Okay, so I've got a bunch of these Ryobi batteries, the 18-volt lithium ones. This one claims to be 1.4 amp hours, but it's some years old now and it's nowhere near 1.4 amp hours. So I'm going to take it apart and see if I can just replace the cells. It's got security Torx screws on. The bigger ones, I've got a few of the bigger ones with the power level meter, which are much better. I've got some 4 amp hour ones, and I've also recently got some rip-off ones, which claim to be, I think, 4.5 amp hours, which they aren't quite, but they're not far off. And the rip-off ones also give an error on the charger, but they still charge anyway. They clearly don't want you to get into these things. This is a different size Torx, and it's not a security Torx. So there's a catch, spring in fact, underneath these clips that hold the battery onto the tool. They're going to come out now. Oop. Clips dropping out. There we go. Okay, there's a bit of sponge around the sides just to cushion the batteries. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 18650s. So it should be possible to replace those, I guess. Yeah, that's interesting. This strip here is distinctly heat affected, whether that's in manufacturing or whether the battery is overloaded. It doesn't look like a manufacturing thing. It looks like it's got hot to me. It comes off. So relatively easy access. Okay. Trouble is, of course, that they're spot welded in, but can maybe work around that somehow. I have this ISDT charger, which I'm going to use to measure the capacity of these batteries out of my Ryobi pack. I've labelled them all up, just A, B, C, D, E. This charger takes them around this way, and amongst other things, apart from the basic charging feature, it has a it's gone straight to charge. Take it out again. If you're quick enough, you can change the battery type. It auto detects, but it's also possible to force it into a particular battery type chemistry. Task, change this to analysis. I will set the current to 1 amp. 2 amp sounds a lot. 2 amp is the default, but 1 amp seems more reasonable to me. And then start. Okay, so it goes through a pre-programmed cycle. It'll charge the battery up fully and then discharge it at 1 amp and measure the total milliamp hours. If you can read that, but you can see it's counting up now as the energy goes into the battery. And there's this little graph here, which is hasn't got any scales on it as such, but gives you some idea as to what's going on. So I say it's currently charging. So it'll take a while, but after a few hours, it should have gone through the full cycle, and it will deliver an overall result. So having charged all these batteries, or rather analysed all these batteries, all 5 out of the Ryobi pack, somewhat to my amazement, they all come out pretty much the same. They're all coming out at 1200 milliamp hours, basically. Pretty much bang on. One of them B on my little markings here is the worst at 1231. But so they're all within, I don't know, 10%. So I was expecting to find one cell had sort of died, and that was causing the whole pack to suffer. But that doesn't seem to be the case. Mind you, 1200 milliamp hours is pretty rubbish for an 18650. These days they seem to be mostly 3400. So yeah, it looks as if perhaps they have degenerated over time and reduced their capacity. But replacing them with high capacity ones should obviously help. So I'm going to give that a go anyway. I'll get hold of 5 of these in the 3400 capacity new ones and put those back into the power pack. So the worrying thing is that the problem might be the electronics in the power pack, but hopefully that's not the case.
Right, so I've managed to get some more batteries. They're a real scam, these batteries. I got some cheaper ones that claim to be 3600 milliamp hours and tested them, and they were something like 1200, so less, well under half what they should be. And they were very light as well. So I've got some more which I've sent those back, complained, but picked up some more which claim to be original Panasonic, genuine Panasonic. There's no sign of Panasonic written on them. Made in Japan at least, but who knows. Claims 3400. I tested them, they came out about 2200. But then, of course, my tester might not be 100% accurate. But the interesting thing is, if I can get this thing open, there we go, that they weigh more. Well, that's 43, 86, 129, so 172, so 172, and 4 divide, 43, so yeah, they're about 43 grams, which a friend of mine's got some decent ones, or allegedly decent ones, and they're something like 50. So something weird going on. I genuinely don't know where to buy decent batteries that actually meet the spec. Maybe I should go to Radio Spares or something. Anyway, these are significantly better than the ones that came out, so I'm going to put them in anyway. So these are just going to lay in here. I've got some strips, tinned, I assume it's just tin steel, or is it actually pure tin? Maybe it's pure tin. Anyway, that should solder on here okay. Just got to straighten out these terminals. Good. I think if I can tin these terminals, I might not actually need these strips. Let's see how we go. Those tabs are now straightened out pretty much. Almost. Okay, let's see if I can solder something. Let's get it up to 350 or so. See what that does. Not bad. Certainly welding. Sorry, soldering. So I just tin these. Okay, so those are all soldered back in. This rubber strip fits on top somehow. I'm not sure whether it goes that way or that way. I'm guessing it's that way. Seems more sensible. These two clips. Oh, hang on a minute. Oh yes, this screw goes in the top. Been worried for a minute. Volts DC. According to this, this is positive and this is negative. 20.446 volts. Good. See if it works. Yeah, seems pretty good. Okay, well the total milliamp hours should be more than it was originally. So this one is original, still working reasonably well. So this one should have a higher capacity than this. This is supposed to be 1.4 amp hours. So I guess it should be something like 2 amp hours now. Okay, I'm going to wait till I'm here in the garage before putting it on the charger, just in case it bursts into flames. But it should be fine. We'll give it a try and see how it stacks up with the older ones. Good. Thanks for watching.